Welcome to the Amitrace podcast. I'm Tom White. It's been quite a morning so far at the STN National Convention here in Tampa. We want to thank our sponsor, the TriCaster Mini S, who has helped make this possible. Basically, bring your own device for a TriCaster. I don't know if I'm happy or sad that this guy's here. I really don't. We've been friends a long time. He abandoned me. He texted me at like 2 a.m. on a Sunday night or Sunday morning.
Who abandoned you?
You abandoned me. It's Zach Garrett from Gulliver Prep way down in Miami, way far, far away. He left me. Was in Georgia with us for a while. Zach, so thank you so much for stopping by.
Thanks, Tom. You know, it's always a pleasure to see you. Every time I see you, I light up. You know what I'm saying?
Good. I feel the same way. You're one of those. There are people that I call bucket fillers. And you know, when my kids were, what fills your bucket? And you're one of my bucket fillers, where it's like, all right, everything is good in the world. I got to spend some time with Zach. So
likewise, sir.
So tell me about Gulliver. What are you guys doing down there?
We have really exciting things happening at our school. I think the first thing and what drew me down there, not because I didn't love you, Tom. I wanted to stay up there, but they drew me down because they have a digital mass media program. So it's, instead of calling them electives, we call them signature academic programs. So they're really kind of put on a pedestal, which is, first of all, a great kind of feeling to have. And digital mass media includes broadcast journalism, film production, and print and digital journalism. So we have 3 teachers in our program. My department chair runs the yearbook and the digital and online newspaper, and they do some like simple news packages, and but they do a lot of article writing. Then of course they do the yearbook on Adobe InDesign, and then in our broadcast journalism program, we do all of our shows. We've got 5 shows that we do. We have a social media show, our monthly community show, monthly sports, and we are working on our weekly in-studio show that we just got finished with getting all those ICANN lights, which was important. Need a new TriCaster, so maybe calling you. And then we've got our podcast.
Awesome. Well, I love watching your stuff. Your kids do, Your kids do great work, and it's always impressive for me when I watch and I go, I see a kid transform over time, and that's just a beautiful benefit of what I get to do on the outside. So STN's always been a part of what you've done in the classroom. Talk about how that impacts your program.
I've always said that STN is the fire under my program, right? It's the core element to what we do and how we operate, and the reason why I shifted my classroom to that is because I think going to conventions like this, just even as an adult, any sort of conventions, the excitement that we get to see people that speak our same language. And so when you can bring students to that experience, and they're surrounded by 3,500 people that do the same thing that they do across the country, I think that gives them a spark of excitement. It also makes them think about the quality of their production a little bit more. So it's not just finishing an assignment like, oh my gosh, like I have to get this done right. So it's being seen across the country on our Instagram feed, on YouTube, and I'm getting text messages and DMs and saying, oh yeah, I like that show. And I think my students have found, now that I'm at this new school and this is our 3rd year part of it, they've seen that before their stuff wasn't getting seen outside of the advisory program within our school. But now they're getting text messages from schools really across the country that are saying, hey, we're watching the work you're doing. We love you doing this. How did you do this? We got a text the other day. What's your social media set like? Like what equipment do you use? And the kids love responding to that, and they love engaging with that. And so it just takes that experience outside the classroom, that network feel that we love so much, that we've all benefited from as adults, I think, through our organizations, really helps the students just care more about this, because they're living in a society that their attention span is hijacked, and they're really, it's so easy to be apathetic, I think, for many reasons, and to find a sector of their life where they can say, you know what, I'm going to drop everything and I'm going to really pour my heart into this and care about something. This allows them to do that and sparks that fire to push them towards that
awesome
goal.
And talking about that fire, what have you guys competing in?
Oh my gosh, Tom, too many things. We've got, I think this is cool, this is my largest group I've ever taken STN. We have 41 students, plus 14 of my middle school team. So we have a middle school program run by a separate teacher, but we're a pre-K through 12 school. And so 14, 41, I don't know the math, don't quote me.
That's 55.
Look at you, Tom. Okay.
I don't use the new math, I use the old stuff.
Tom's doing a lot of invoices recently, I'm saying.
I probably should do more.
No, it's so cool. So yesterday we did Crazy Eight's morning show for our high school and middle school teams. So separately with that, and oh my gosh, when it's called Crazy Eights for a reason. I mean, there's nothing like it, and seeing the teams just run around the city and to put these stories together. And we have and I'll tell you, this year we've really experimented with all different types of content. Like how much can we fit into 8 minutes of a show? And I'll say that maybe I'm the problem because I'm pushing my kids to do more and no, but we can add this and add this and add this. Tom, we were 35 minutes out from deadline yesterday, and our show is 8 minutes, 10 seconds. And I said, okay, we're cutting frames. Where are we cutting frames from? Give me a frame here. And we were just cutting, and we got it down 8 minutes on the dot.
Wow.
So that's exciting. Today's a lighter day. We've got 3 of our high school teams competing. We've got news package, arts and culture, and what's the last one? News, arts and culture, and nat package. So that's today. And then tomorrow we have 11 contests that we're doing. So it's like a break today, and then tomorrow we get back into the fire.
It's funny because I was talking to someone earlier, and their schedule's the opposite. Today is the crazy day. Tomorrow they're like, I have nothing. So I'm just going to sit over here and just make fun of you the whole time. So what's been the biggest change for you? Because you started in Georgia. What's been the biggest change in that transition from Georgia to Southern Florida?
Well, the weather, I think.
There's a little bit of a difference there, yeah.
I mean, it gets hot in Georgia for sure, but there is nothing like Miami heat, I'll tell you that. But after the summer, it actually gets really, really nice. So I've enjoyed that, and I thought for a while, because I'm a big air conditioning guy, super, super thrilled about a nice cold room. But I'll say that I've actually enjoyed the warmer climate a little bit, and it makes you enjoy the 70 degrees. I kind of get a little chilly.
Oh. I see you're in a full track suit with a long sleeve pullover and the whole thing.
I'm actually sweating under this, so I need to probably go change. But I will say the biggest thing, the program-wise changing is, I came from a school that really we started it from scratch, and so there was really little to no funding. It was all donation-driven, and so we didn't really have a lot of gear. And to be at a place now that has the financial backing to actually execute a program, because as you know, it's expensive to do this. To getting the right cameras and to getting the gear that has the least amount of, I gotta watch my language here, the least amount of mess up potential.
Yes.
Right? Because there's industry standard equipment that kids break in 2 seconds.
Yep.
That's way too expensive. But there's gear that works, that is robust enough to be able to, And so there's that piece, but then there's also, can we get enough gear in the hands of kids? Because it's am I going to give my entire class a pencil, or only 5 kids get a pencil? And then now the rest of the kids have to watch the other kids work. So that's been my main goal at this school, where it's they had an established program, and it's okay, well now we got to get enough gear to get every piece in the hands of all these kids so they can all create. And I think for me, it's taken the training wheels off for my side, because before I was sort of limited with that equipment and the speed at which we could complete projects. But now that we have enough gear for basically 1 full camera kit for 2 partners.
Wow, that's great.
Which is amazing,
that's
right?
Great.
Which it really lights the fire under them to get that. We have about 70 kids in the program, at least in the higher levels, that use that equipment. So it's been rewarding to be challenged in that way, where it's what more can we create and what more can we think about in the classroom?
One more, and then we'll let you get back to seeing all your people. If there's a teacher who hasn't done STN, what would you tell them to get them over that hump? If they're trying to decide if it's worth the fundraising, the hassle, all of the things that go into it, what would you tell them to get them over the hump to come? Next year it's back here in Tampa. So
that's right. Well, I'll say this, and maybe a little bit of a plug for our summer workshop. So, so STN does a summer workshop, and we're hosting it in Miami, and we had a great one last summer. At over 60 teachers from across the country came in, and the first thing we told them was, you got to know what your mindset is going into this. Do you want a class, or do you want a program? That's the first question. If you want a class, some teachers just want a class where they just teach the fundamentals and they collect their paycheck and they keep moving. And then other teachers want to treat this like a sport, where we're a team, we have a mission, we execute, and we don't care about the time commitment, we get the mission done. And I honestly think that teachers that treat it like a program are really doing the best service to students. And it does take a little bit more. It takes more from you. I know it's a sacrifice of your personal time, but if you're really in the business of teaching students and really preparing them for our world, it's not a discussion of what it takes to be elite in this field. You have to commit to this and give it your all, so then your kids can get the all, because ultimately, if we want to talk about the grander wave here, if we want to live in a better world with better communicators, it's our job to make that happen now.
Awesome, love it. I'm gonna put that on a poster somewhere. So, where can people see Raider Vision? Plug your stuff.
Yeah, Raider Vision's on Instagram and YouTube. So, and our website, everything is at GP for Gulliver Prep Raider Vision. So GP Raider Vision, and we're everywhere, and we love seeing the content of other schools. So definitely give us a follow. And I will say this also. Let me go back to that question before. The other side of it is getting the right gear, right? And so I will say this, and they're not paying me to say it, I promise you, but if you find people like Tom and Philip, right? Find people, and Faraz, he's still at Amitrace, right? Find people at your local levels that are here to help. And I'll tell you, when I was up in Georgia, I used Amitrace. We bought our TriCaster from you all. It's great to speak to people that really care about building a program and not just trying to sell to you. Like I could pick up the phone and call any of you all to ask questions. You all sat with me for a 3-hour training that I recorded and still have to this day, by the way. It's a punishment for some of my kids to watch it, actually. No. No, I'm kidding. But it's hard nowadays to find people that actually care about the educator and the program. They just want to sell and get their commission and the quotas. I never felt like that when I was working with Amitrace. And so find your people that help you get the right gear that you need, and especially with Tom as being a former teacher, you know what's needed in the classroom, and I think you're in a perfect position now. And I want to ask you a question. How's it been? You've been in the classroom, you've run successful programs, and now you're on the other side serving teachers. And you were at the University of Georgia for a little bit. First of all, go Dogs.
Yeah, go Dogs.
So now you're on the other side of it. What's this feeling like for you?
It really is the answer to my calling. I really think, and leaving the University of Georgia was tough. It was one of those things where I really wrestled with because I hadn't been there long. But this is what I love doing. This is my passion. This is my calling. For me, my worst day is doing paperwork where somebody's getting an improvement for their program or fixing something.
Wow.
So, for me, it's that. And then, I get to do this. I get to literally just around the Southeast hang out with teachers and talk video production. And now we're doing a lot more curriculum stuff. So nice. I'm getting to write curriculum. I'm getting to do all the things I loved about teaching, minus the relationship with the students, with none of the stuff I didn't enjoy. Like, I didn't mind writing curriculum. I didn't mind lesson planning. I just didn't like meetings.
You don't like meetings?
No, I hate meetings.
The trick to a good meeting is to have food there. I think everybody needs to know that. Write that down if you're an administrator listening, because that is the key element to making it better. But I will say, Tom, as a teacher that started after you had started, you helped me out, and I would not be here if it wasn't for you and some of the other mentors I've had. And you said in the beginning, and you run an amazing program and all that. And as you were saying that, I was thinking, I'm only here because I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. So thank you.
Well, man, I appreciate that. I love you. I love what you guys do, and I'm honored and blessed to know you. So.
Yes.
We got all sappy there at the end. Like,
I
don't even know how
I'm about to tear up a little bit.
I'm like, oh man, I don't know if I need a hug or just to go cry somewhere. But again, thank you, Zach, so much for really asking me to come down. I mean, you started the conversation about us coming here, so yes, I appreciate that, and it's been so rewarding. And we're only 2.5 hours in, so Beautiful. It's been great. But thank you again. Thank you to the TriCaster Mini S. Go check it out. Go to amitrace.com, and we will have more content for you on the Amitrace podcast soon.
Thank you all.